Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are diving into one of the most ambitious national strategies on the entire planet, China's five-year plan. This is the roadmap that steers the future of the world's second-largest economy.
Okay, so let's jump right into the big question, the one that keeps economists and world leaders up at night. It's this thing called the middle income trap. It's that tricky spot where a country gets just rich enough that its labor isn't cheap anymore, but it's not quite innovative enough to compete with the wealthiest nations, and its growth just hits a wall. For a country with 1.4 billion people, trying to avoid that trap isn't just a challenge, it's the ultimate economic test.
So how does China plan to do it? Well, their answer is this: a massive national blueprint for the future. And don't think of this as just another government policy paper. No, this thing is a monumental plan designed to steer the development of the entire country. We're going to be looking at the 13th five-year plan, which is built specifically to tackle this problem and, as they put it, open up new horizons for development.
All right, so let's break this down. What exactly is this blueprint? The easiest way to think about it is like a national instruction manual. It lays out the strategy for pretty much every major aspect of the country. Yeah, it's basically the game plan for the entire country. We're talking economic growth, tech, the environment, healthcare, education, the whole shebang. It sets these super firm targets and then gets the entire state apparatus moving as one to hit them.
And you don't even have to read between the lines. The plan itself tells you just how high the stakes are. This quote, this isn't some footnote buried in the back, right? This is a core guiding principle. The document itself comes right out and says, this is the risk and this is what we have to overcome. Okay, so the whole plan really rests on a few key pillars. And the first one is a total economic overhaul. This is all about making a fundamental shift from a country known for made in China to one defined by bought in China. So what you're seeing here, this list, it represents a massive pivot. For what, decades? China was the world's factory, just pumping out exports. This plan is all about turning that entire model inward, creating an economy that's powered by its own huge population of consumers.
So the big idea here, the really crucial point, is to move beyond just being the assembly line for the world. It's about designing things, creating services, and then consuming them right there at home. And of course, that means you've got to build up a modern financial system to support it and expand all those service industries, from banking to entertainment.
All right. On to pillar number 2. And this one builds directly on that first one. You see, it's not just about the money. Economic growth by itself isn't the endgame. A huge piece of this plan is about improving the quality of life for its people, or as they call it, building a beautiful China. And this is where the plan gets really real. It tackles the huge social and environmental problems that, let's be honest, came from all that super fast, decades-long industrial growth. It's basically an official admission that future growth has to be way more balanced and sustainable.
And when we talk about scale, wow, the ambitions here are just staggering. We're not talking about small tweaks. This was a full-on, targeted campaign to lift 50 million people out of poverty, all within that 5-year window.
And look, they didn't just throw around nice phrases like beautiful China. The plan put hard numbers on it. This kind of data-driven approach, tying green goals right to economic output, to GDP, was all about forcing industries to get cleaner and way more efficient. There was really no hiding from these numbers.
Okay, pillar number 3. So you've got these massive economic and social goals, but what's the engine? What's going to power this whole transformation from a factory-based economy to an innovation-based one? Well, the plan is crystal clear on this. It all comes down to 2 things: technology and talent.
You gotta love this quote from the plan. It sounds almost poetic, right? But what it really is, it's a declaration of intent. It's basically saying, we are going for the lead in frontier science. Everything from exploring the deepest oceans, the space programs, and next-gen IT, which it calls Deep Blue. So the plan got really specific, calling for accelerated breakthroughs in key technologies. And first up on the list was artificial intelligence. They saw it as the brains of the whole future economy and society. Then you have robotics, a huge push there. Not just for the sake of cool robots, but to fundamentally automate and modernize that massive industrial base. Of course, you can't have a truly digital society without the pipes to connect everything, so they targeted next-generation networks like 5G as the foundation.
And they also aimed for the top spot in really advanced fields like biotechnology and precision medicine. This was all about owning the next wave of healthcare innovation.
And this right here is so important.
It shows you the strategy wasn't just about shiny new tech and fancy algorithms. It was a massive, massive investment in people. The plan lays out these very specific programs to train millions of skilled workers, nurture the best young talent, and even retrain top business execs to compete on a global scale.
Okay, let's bring this all together. Why should anyone outside of China care about a domestic plan? Well, it's pretty simple. When your goals are this big, they don't stay within your borders. They create these massive global ripples.
And yeah, the plan's ambitions were never just domestic. Take the Belt and Road Initiative. It was a core piece of the strategy designed to literally reshape global trade routes by financing and building new infrastructure, all with China right at the center of it all.
So as we look to the future, this slide really gets to the heart of the challenge China's facing. It's a race against time. On one side, you've got this demographic headwind. Their workforce is actually shrinking. But on the other side, they're counting on this huge innovation tailwind from all that new tech. And the math here is pretty brutal. Productivity has to grow fast enough to make up for the fact that you have fewer workers every single year.
And that right there is the big, multi-trillion-dollar question. Whether this blueprint and all the ones that follow it actually succeeds, well, it all boils down to the answer to that one question. Can that innovation engine actually outrun the demographic clock? The answer is going to define not just China's future, but the global economy for decades to come.